welcome to the stage. Welcome to South Summit. It is your first time, right?
Thank you very much, Juan Jose. Yes, it's my first time at South Summit. It's not my first time in Madrid, so I'm very happy to be back in this vibrant city. It's a renewed energy that I've seen here at South Summit, so I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, there is something amazing about Dubai. I mean, these guys keep planning and making plans and strategic plans, but what makes them a really unique country is that they really execute the plans.
That's correct. And one of the things that I wanted to take the opportunity today to talk a bit about, Juan Jose, is our economic agenda. So we have a rather new plan. It is about 18 months into it, and it's an economic agenda that
Dubai 33, right?
That's D33, exactly, right? And the D is obviously for Dubai. The 33 is for 2033, and our goal is to double our GDP within a 10-year period. Now, it's an ambitious plan, but it is achievable, and we have put together a very concise plan with 10 strategic pillars as to how we're going to go out and achieve that. We're focusing on sectors. We're focusing on sectors that are very important to us, such as logistics, financial services, tourism, but also sectors where we have great opportunities for improved or enhanced production, and that's for instance, on manufacturing. But a very important part of the plan also is our focus on talent, but our focus on innovation and digitization. And that is really what's going to help us in this next level, this next stage of growth, because the previous decade of growth that we were talking about backstage as to how fantastic it was very labor intensive. And the productivity part of that contribution to the economy was subdued. The next phase of growth is going to be productivity led. For instance, when we're talking about manufacturing, we're talking about advanced manufacturing, we're talking about clean manufacturing. When we're talking about digitization in financial services, for instance, we're talking about the new economy finance sector. How do we play a more active role in being a launchpad and a platform for growth for these new emerging technologies? We've come up with a sandbox, for instance, to really help and promote their growth in an ecosystem that is conducive to product development and commercialization, and also at the same time safeguards the individuals, businesses, the wider economy until it is matured into a state that's ready to be launched. And finally, as part of our agenda, we have a focus on things that are very internal in terms of the ease of doing business. We've launched a number of programs that have tried to reduce bureaucracy, get businesses up and running and trading as fast as possible. We're focusing on maintaining a cost of doing business that is value accretive to investors coming in. And last but not least, and in my opinion, probably the most important pillar in our plan here is the quality of life, where safety, security, tolerance are things that are embodied on a day-to-day basis. And it's where Dubai has set itself apart, I would say, from most other cities around the world, and it's something that we're not willing to compromise in pursuit of economic prosperity in this plan.
Yeah. It all started by aiming to become a major touristic destination, and by the way, making a product which is absolutely unique and creating new categories. Yeah. And in the meanwhile, becoming one of the biggest international logistic hubs. Yeah. I mean, do you think that making of Dubai a place where everybody wants to go has helped you to attract the best talent? I mean, not just for spending a few days, but actually, aiming to live there and creating startups and engage in the economy of Dubai.
The formula that we have followed in Dubai has always been around an ecosystem, building and developing an ecosystem. Going out to attract certain individual players is one strategy. However, when you want to get the world's best talent, if they don't feel that they are in an ecosystem that is conducive to their success, they will either not be attracted, or the few that will come will find it difficult to succeed. So wherever we've done this, and historically, right, we've created an ecosystem and a hub for logistics 40 odd years ago with because trade is such an important part of the region. We followed that on with dedicated business parks for tech companies back in the early 2000s. We've created a dedicated financial center, for instance, right, which is the DIFC. The DIFC pre-pandemic, just to give you a sense of scale, was at a workforce of about 19,000 individuals. Post-pandemic, it's grown to 41,000. And the driving factor behind that is that it is not just Dubai is a fun city to come and spend a couple of years. It's actually a city in which you can now you can build a career. If you are in financial services, it used to be, you need to be in London, you need to be in New York, and perhaps Singapore, right? Dubai is now a part of that conversation because regional hubs have been set up there. The ability for the portability of talent as well. So if they want to leave and join another firm, there is an existing ecosystem there. There are jobs, there are opportunities there. If individuals want to leave and start up their own, they have the opportunities there. And one of the very important things that we did also in the shortly after the pandemic is we sat down and we tried to understand talent is moving. What is important for talent to be able to consider? What are the things that they need to consider when they're looking to relocate? And we identified very important things as people need to have opportunity, right? And we need to make sure that we're producing quality jobs. The vast majority of newcomers to the city now, well over 85%, are in highly skilled jobs. They have opportunities to flourish in those. The other thing that they need is obviously safety and security, which is something that we offer, but stability as well. So we launched a Golden Visa program, for instance. And the Golden Visa program is a 10-year residency program that is tied to either unique and very highly skilled and ultra talented people, or investors that invest into real estate or invest into the banking system, for instance. And that has led to other residency programs as well for specialized talent that we want to continue to attract. So we recently announced, for instance, a blue visa for those that have made significant contributions when it comes to environmental and clean tech, for instance, and that's a 5-year residency program for them. So it really creates an ecosystem where people feel attached. It feels like a second home, and there's a stickiness factor that comes along with it.
I have a lot of friends who live in Dubai and they enjoy it so much. I mean, they don't feel the temptation of going anywhere else. And so
they haven't done a good enough job convincing you, though.
Well, they are entrepreneurs, they are artists, they are, any kind, but they feel so well in Dubai that they don't want to move.
Yeah.
So we will come back in a minute, for you to launch an invitation to any entrepreneurs thinking about where to allocate their resources. But before, I wanted you to share with us, what's next? You have developed an incredible tourism industry, financial industry, logistics. What's next? What do you pursue in this D33 agenda? And are you thinking about technology, artificial intelligence?
So, AI is a very important subject. If you think about we were the first country in the world to have a minister of AI in 2017. And it's not because we were ahead of the curve and we knew more about AI than anybody else. Quite the contrary. We realized that this is a technology that could revolutionize and change the world. And it's a technology that we need to figure out how we're going to harness. And dedicating resources, dedicating very senior resources and ministers to be able to understand this technology is important. It's a cornerstone of our digitization plan. We recently launched a Dubai AI program, which is focused on really embedding AI into certain aspects of the economy. So one of the things that we're doing is across all government departments, we will have a chief AI officer in each one. And it's not just sort of a branding and a name or whatever. These are actually people that have a wealth of knowledge in them. And the challenge for them is, how are we implementing these technologies to enhance government services? How are we bringing more efficiency into our system? The other very important thing that we're looking at is how are we breeding an ecosystem that is conducive to growth in these technologies? So we've set up, as I mentioned before, the sandbox, and the sandbox focuses on AI technologies. It focuses on clean tech, health tech, and prop tech. And those are just sort of the tip of the iceberg, or that first stage of growth. The other thing that we did very proactively is we set up a virtual assets regulatory authority, the first one in the world. Again, this was more for us to be able to have some sort of understanding and view as to how virtual assets are being traded, how we can bring some level of regulation into it that brings a bit of confidence to investors and obviously to the traders as well. And it's something that's proven to be rather successful. Going back, sorry, to the point on the AI, the important thing that I wanted to also mention is that it's a two-pronged approach. So it's not just a top-down where we'll have a chief AI officer that is sort of dictating and orchestrating a whole agenda here, but it also gets built from the ground up. So when it comes to regulation, when it comes to actually education as well, making sure that the talent that we have in the government itself are AI enabled and ready and know how to harness that technology for them to be more efficient. And to make sure that our education system also coming up through the ranks, as education, we talked about this the other day, how that is being really changed on almost a daily basis when it comes to such technologies, is to make sure that that next generation coming through also are using that technology in the most efficient manner.
Yeah. So, I mean, here you may have many entrepreneurs thinking about, moving to Dubai and getting support from the government, not necessarily grants, but, it's the chance of proving the concept of the technology they may be working on. Yeah. I mean, what can they expect from the government, from this sandbox you have established in the AI space? I mean, if they have a solution for your government to, let's say, reduce bureaucracy dramatically, or improving education or healthcare, I mean, how can they approach you, and what can they expect, from government and this sandbox system?
So, DET, I mean, the big part of my role specifically here and the team that's here with us is to do a bit of the outreach and raise the awareness on Dubai, the opportunities, sort of a bit of the landscape. But there are many players in the ecosystem that are tasked with actually helping companies further develop and enhance these technologies. We have, for instance, the Dubai Future Foundation. The Dubai Future Foundation is tasked specifically on that, on looking for technologies of the future, how we can find use cases for them within our own agendas. And really use those to multiply outcomes. There's an accelerator, there's a Dubai Future Accelerator as well, and there's the Future Labs, where again, some of these the sandbox has been applied there to allow these new technologies to flourish. So I would encourage anybody that is interested in checking out the landscape, etc., to reach out to us, reach out to the Future Foundation. The important thing is that the government has a role to play, but also there is a growing, let's say, private sector in terms of a VC ecosystem as well, which is becoming more and more knowledgeable and has a proven track record in terms of investing in commercializing ideas that have proven to be quite successful. Finally, I would say if there's opportunities when it comes to fintech, which I know is a very important and hot topic right now here. The DIFC, which is a financial center, has a hive. They've set up a venture studio as well for ubiquitous finance and digital assets. They've even set up a campus and academy for Web3 and AI. So any of you that are interested in that front, I would definitely encourage you to look at the DIFC. A colleague of ours from the DIFC is also here, so mention to him that you heard me talk to him and badger him, please, for details.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. And I will take into account your invitation to go to Dubai.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome, and so is everybody else. Please come and knock on our doors when you do come to Dubai.
Join me to give a big hand to Mohammed. Thank you very much.